The Dr. Julius Erving of the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston's Larry Bird squared off against each other. Game 4 in the Eastern Conference Finals. The scene Friday night, the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Doctor's been averaging almost 28 points a game in this series, and Friday night he was superb, scoring 30 points with this lean-in against Larry Bird. The one thing you have to do against the Doctors, deny him the drive to the right as he makes a move here on Larry Bird and takes it inside. Bill Fitch, well, he summed up the series this way. He says, we've run into a buzzsaw. But the Boston Celtics aren't dead yet. Dave Cowens hooks one up, and look at the effort by M.L. Carr. Carr coming in late in the game. Ended up with 15 points, 2 of the points coming here. Philadelphia started to fade. They could not hit in the third quarter, hitting 2 of only 23 shots from the field. Larry Bird comes away with a rebound, which led to this move down to the other end of the floor as Dave Cowens just literally horses it in a very physical series thus far. But Philadelphia started to put it together, especially defensively. 1 of 15 steals by the Sixers as Boston was guilty of 25 turnovers in the game Friday night. He kicks it out to Bobby Jones and he scores 2 of his 14 points. And the Doctor said the fast break has been the difference. Bobby Jones was magnificent in the fourth quarter. He's able to shoot from outside also as he takes Cedric Maxwell outside with him and pops one in. And the final, Philadelphia 102-90. They lead this series 3-1, and today, Game 5 from a sellout crowd in the Boston Garden.
The NBA on CBS. Today's Eastern Conference Championship game is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Welcome to the Boston Garden, Game 5, as the Philadelphia 76ers meeting the Boston Celtics, leading this best-of-7 series 3-1. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. You can feel the tension, the excitement here as this partisan Celtic crowd hopes that their club can continue this season. They are backed into a corner. They face elimination if they don't win today. Does history repeat itself? The Celtics hope so, because in 1968, they trailed the Sixers 3-1. They went on to win that series, and Billy Cunningham remembers very well because he was a player on that Philadelphia team. One thing to remember, the Celtics have lost 2 in a row, but all year long they did not lose 3 in a row. Let's go now to my broadcasting colleague, Rick Barry.
Thank you very much, Gary. I'm here with Bill Fitch. Bill, tough situation, but you are at home. What have you told your players they've got to do today?
Well, we have a chance today, Rick, to trade 1 game for 3. We win today, we've got a chance to get all 3, and that's what we want to give ourselves. So don't look beyond today. Let's play the best basketball game we can possibly play today.
You talked about needing some more offense. Are you planning on playing the pistol a little bit more?
We'll have Pete in there, I'm sure, and if he's got the hot hand, go with him a little bit longer. But you got to have that hot hand first.
Well, good luck to you, Bill. Also have Dave Cowens. Yep. Dave, big game. You've been here before. What do you have to do today?
Well, last quarter we played down in Philadelphia. It was fairly intense defensive effort on our part. And I think we just got to put more of that together.
You're going to be looking a little bit more to shoot that outside shot?
If it shows itself, I'll shoot it.
Well, good luck to you, Dave. A big ball game for you. And, of course, they've been having a lot of problems with the offense, as everybody's been writing about it, and Gary has some more information on that.
One thing that has deserted the Celtics in the series is their shooting. They have not scored 100 points in any of these previous 4 games. They've averaged 94. You can see their seasonal average of 113.5 points a game. Their field goal percentage only 49% during the regular season, but look here in this series. The only game they won was Game 2, and they shot 53% in that game. And then in Game 4, you can see they had a miserable night from the field, shooting only 39%. Let's go back now to Rick Barry.
With me, Billy Cunningham. Billy, you have to be very pleased with the way your team is playing. Any special instructions other than doing what you've done before?
I think 2 big keys, Rick. We have to stop their transition game, and we have to do the job on the boards.
Well, you've done a great job of it so far. Good luck in today's ball.
Thank you, Rick.
Now here's the man who's been carrying the burden offensively for this team all season long and here in the playoffs. Julius, you've really been outstanding. The outside shots working for you, but the transition has been the big game. What do you think about your opportunities this afternoon?
Well, hopefully the opportunities will be there. We figure the Celtics are going to full court press the whole game, which is going to open up the floor. And we play well in an open court game, but we don't want it to get too wild because they play fantastically in that type of game, especially here at home.
Julius, everybody talks about taking away your right-hand side, but yet you've been able to go to the right all series long.
Well, I've gone right, I've gone left, and pulled up for the jumper. You know, you have to do whatever, take whatever the defense gives you and do whatever's necessary, Rick. You know that.
Well, have a great game. Good luck. All right, back to you, Gary, with the starting lineups now.
All right, Rick, let's check the starting lineups. There's the Sixers. The Doctor with Caldwell Jones will be picking up Larry Bird. Dawkins will be in the pivot. Hollins and Cheeks in the backcourt. Cheeks played very well defensively Friday night. And Boston with Maxwell, Bird, Cowens in the middle, Archibald and Ford. Ford having a tough shooting series thus far, operating at the other guard spot. And the officials for today's game: Earl Strom and Wally Rooney. The alternate will be Mike Mathis. As the Boston Celtics, there's no tomorrow as they come into this game this afternoon. There's Darryl Dawkins. He has outscored the opposing center in each of the past 6 games.
Well, everybody talks about the importance of Darryl Dawkins, and certainly it's been paramount in this series. When Darryl Dawkins plays well, this Philadelphia team is a far superior basketball team.
We're underway. Game number 5, and Dawkins, look at what I have.
That's just a defensive lapse on the part of the Celtics there to allow a man to have a clear path to the basket on a jump ball. There's really no excuse for that.
I think that's some of that tension that we mentioned at the top of the show. The Celtics got to win today. Archibald, look at the mismatch. Dawkins is out on him. Bird, left-hander, followed beautifully by Cowens, and Maxwell tips it in.
A great second effort that time by Cedric Maxwell. He only got his fingertips on that basketball, but the Celtics are really going to be pounding those offensive boards. They're not shooting well from the outside, as we've mentioned. They've got to get to the boards and retrieve some of those loose ones.
There's Bird coming out on the Doctor, broken up. Ford is able to save it. Boston had 25 turnovers Friday night. Philadelphia's tried to keep them to a minimum. There's Archibald. Archibald's had a tough time getting inside, hasn't he?
Well, I think he's been a little frustrated. When you're not shooting well from the outside, all of the other problems seem to be compounded.
Here's Cowens, the veteran, taking Dawkins, and we have a foul. Dave Cowens taking it right to Darryl Dawkins.
But that time the foul was on Maurice Cheeks reaching in. Dawkins had pretty good position on Cowens.
Dave Cowens, he is the only player left from that 75-76 Boston Celtic title team. And really, Rick, as you look at this club, they just haven't played in the playoffs all that much.
It could be a big factor, Gary. When you get to the situation where the importance of the games become as great as they are right now, players who don't have that experience can find that pressure can certainly become a factor in their performance.
And Dave Cowens gives the Celtics a 4-2 lead. Billy Cunningham, we mentioned he was on that 68 team, Philadelphia team, that led 3-1 and eventually lost the series. He said it cost him a little money, too. Maurice Cheeks with Archibald on him. Boston thus far has not scored 100 points in this series. You got to give Philadelphia a lot of credit. Their defense, nice move by Larry Bird. And the shot clock with 5 seconds as it goes out of bounds. So Philadelphia is going to have to hurry up. Billy Cunningham indicating there's only 5 seconds on the shot clock.
And you see how far back they have it, even behind half court. Lionel's got to get it up.
3 seconds, 2, and he is fouled by Chris Ford. So he was able to salvage a difficult situation.
Yes, and Chris Ford, who is usually a very sound defender, made a mistake that time. Lionel was going to force a shot up there, and in that situation, he should have allowed him to shoot the basketball and hope that the ball didn't go in rather than pick up a silly foul like that.
Ford having a tough series, averaging 7.5 points a game as opposed to the regular season when he was over 11 points a game.
One of the big things the players must do in this situation, and I'm talking about the Celtics, is they must play their normal game. They have allowed themselves to be affected by their inability to score baskets from the outside and are not playing their normal game.
We're all even at 4 apiece. Archibald can't get it in. Look at Dawkins go up. He is so intimidating out there. Lionel Hollins with Ford on him. Hollins had a good game Friday night with 9 assists as he goes in, and a foul going against Dave Cowens.
Again, good penetration on the part of Philadelphia. That's what you need to break down the defenses. We'll take a look at Hollins on this play from our overhead shot. You see him handling the ball well, a little crossover dribble through the legs, and we ran a little too slow. You didn't get a chance to see it, but the Boston defense was not as alert as it should have been. He was able to get all the way to the basket. Normally, a man should step out and stop the penetration all the way to the hole.
Bird with the rebound. I should say that last Ford foul was on Chris Ford. That's 2 on him. It did not go on Dave Cowens. 5-4. Philadelphia at the lead, denying the ball to Maxwell, and that's that story. They've had to try to get it inside and can't.
And you notice that they dropped completely off of Archibald. They left him alone. His man Cheeks was about 6 feet off, and they were able to zone up in the middle.
Dave Cowens from the corner. That is something that they really need.
They need to get the Philadelphia defense to come out and play them honest. They have not done that in the last couple of ball games.
Here's Cheeks, and he has been called for charging. Maurice Cheeks with his first foul, and that's that transition game. Philadelphia wants to get down to the other end.
We'll see the play here. Now watch the left arm on Cheeks. Right there he pushed off. You couldn't see it all that well, but it was a good call by Earl Strom.
Cheeks extremely fast, getting down to the other end. There's Archibald. Again, we have a mismatch. As you see, Dawkins out to Ford. Maxwell, and a pushing off foul inside. They're trying as best they can to get inside with that basketball.
Yes, and that'll work very effectively for you if you also distribute the offense with something coming from the outside as well.
Doctor with his first foul of the game. Archibald, Hollins is on him in a hurry. Hollins picked up for that #1 draft pick. This is a three-pointer by Ford. That did not help his confidence. Lionel Hollins, a man who in 1977 played on that World Championship Portland team.
You noticed that Chris Ford had to think twice about that, Gary.
He wasn't in his rhythm, was it? Here's Caldwell Jones. That's something that Caldwell does so well, is that lean-in hook of his.
Especially when he's that distance from the basket. Occasionally he tries a little bit too far out, and that's when he's usually unsuccessful.
7-6, Archibald, he's in trouble, and he's 3 seconds in the lane, and that's going to give it back to Philadelphia.
Now Tiny has been doing that far too often. He's taking the ball in too deep, getting himself into situations where he has a lot of problems passing the ball. In that situation, he got caught in the 3-second lane. He's trying to force things too much.
It's interesting, isn't it, what the playoffs happen to people, what it does to them after playing so well in the regular season.
Whole new ball game out here.
There's Dawkins. Now it's playing him as tough as you can play him. Hollins with 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3, and he's been fouled by Ford again. That's twice with seconds to go on the shot clock. He's gotten the foul from Ford.
And Chris Ford is upset about that one. It looked as though Lionel may have jumped into him just a little bit on that play. That's 3 fouls quickly now on Ford.
Lionel Hollins will go to the line, and Chris Ford both times tried to force the issue, and he came away on the short end. ML Carr now getting ready to come in for the Boston Celtics. Now we should mention about ML Carr. He had a mirror fall off of a locker in Philadelphia, cutting a gash of about 4 inches and required 14 stitches on his shoulder.
Well, I saw it before the game. It's not a very pleasant looking sight. He's got a big pad over it that Ray Melchiori, the trainer for Boston, has put on him, and you can see that when we get a chance to get a shot of it.
We should also mention he suffered a slight concussion. You can see where he has the stitches and all the bandages on, and he's going to be a little sore today. 9-6, Philadelphia jumping out to the early advantage. Cowens, they shake Archibald, and again he might have had the shot and takes it inside, and he's fouled.
Well, Tiny saw an opening to the basket that time, and he thought he could get all the way to the hole, so he didn't take the shot. We'll see there was the opening. Dawkins just a hair late getting over, but he was making the attempt, Gary, and that's the big thing about the Philadelphia defense. They're playing far superior team defense than I've ever seen them play. Well, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Philadelphia team play this tough defensively.
Well, when you hold Boston an average of 94 points after averaging 113 and a half, that shows you something. That is the 14th foul against Philadelphia, the first on Double D, Darryl Dawkins. And Archibald makes it a 9-8 ball game in favor of the Sixers, and this is full court pressure that the doctor told you about in the pregame. They've handled it very well, haven't they?
They really have. Billy's prepared them totally for it. They set up in a particular formation that they want, and they seem to break it down each and every time.
There's Dawkins. Boy, Cowens is really sticking tight to him, isn't he? 8 seconds on the shot clock. Hollins tries to take it in. Maxwell with the rebound.
That was good help that time by Larry Bird from the weak side, coming over to shut off that play for Maurice Cheeks, and he had to take the jumper and missed it.
Maxwell's been a fast starter in this series, then only to kind of disappear late in the games. And 21 points in the first game. Here's Carr. Beautiful pass to Cowens. Boy, he really has great body control after colliding with Lionel Hollins on the play. 10-9, the Boston Celtics by 1, and the veteran Dave Cowens already has 6 points in this game. He may just take over. Celtics.
They need somebody to do it.
Caldwell, Jones, Maxwell, they're really picking him up tough defensively. Maurice Cheeks with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Dawkins, look at what I have. Opportunistic in that play. Here's Hollins with Carr. Carr picking up the foul. He got him on the hand.
It's 3 times now that Lionel Hollins is going to the free throw line, shooting a jump shot. And if there's one thing that a coach dreads, hates to see happen, it's seeing a man being fouled in the act of shooting.
Well, they've been in shot clock trouble all of those times, and each time they've come away at the free throw line.
You're really bailing them out. You have to make them beat you with the shot. You can't put them on the line because it's too easy an opportunity.
10-10 our score at the 7:34 mark of this first period. The Celtics trailing 3 games to 1. They've lost the last 2. They have never lost 3 in a row this season. They want to avoid that today and send it back to Philadelphia on Wednesday night. Archibald using a Cowens pick wide open. That's what they needed.
And that was Darryl Dawkins' fault that time. He has jumped out before on those screens. That time he stayed right with Cowens and allowed Archibald to get open, and he hit the shot.
We'll be going to Game 4, the second half of our doubleheader from Seattle. After this one, Lionel Hollins takes Carr inside. He walked with the basketball. Carr precipitating that turnover.
Now we'll watch the last play here. Here's Cowens handing off. Now watch Archibald come back. See Dawkins, he stays. Cheeks gets caught behind the screen. 2 points.
That had to give Tiny a little confidence, too. So the turnover gives it to the Celtics with a 1-point lead, but all of a sudden, here comes Philadelphia again. Cheeks. Boy, Cheeks and Hollins can execute that fast break. ML Carr at the other end. You can see how many red shirts are back, though, Rick. They've got him back. Here's Maxwell, though. Takes advantage of it.
Well, both teams doing well in the transition that time. Philadelphia having to steal, ignite it. Boston taking it out of the basket and getting it down the court. That was very heads-up play on their part.
14-13, the Celtics. The Celtics losing Game 1 here in the Boston Garden. Only their 7th loss all year here in the Garden. Erving hits the deck. Bird and Cowens on Dawkins. And Dawkins rejected it. It'll be Boston's basketball.
Great effort by Darryl Dawkins. I mean, he was totally committed to go after Bird. We'll see the play right here. Doctor falls down. Now Bird takes the play. We have a fine pass coming up by Bird here. He surveys the situation, looking at the ball a little bit there. There's Dawkins, right back over, blocks the shot, knocked out of bounds by Cheeks.
Tremendous defensive effort by Darryl Dawkins. So, with 6:20 to go in this first quarter, we have a timeout. The Boston Celtics lead it by 1. A live boxing doubleheader. You a fight fan, Rick?
I enjoy watching it. I don't like participating.
That'll be on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Looking at the shooting percentages, Boston shooting 55% in the early going.
That certainly is a vast improvement of what they've done in the past. And as you pointed out earlier in the show, the only game they've won, they shot over 50%.
Boston Celtics with Larry Bird, and Bird gets them started right, and Boston with a 3-point lead, 16-13. He had 31 points a week ago today. He was just outstanding in that game.
He certainly carried the burden for them offensively, and that was the game, of course, that they won.
And you mentioned he got into a shooting rhythm in that game and knew every time he touched the ball it was going to go in. There's Dawkins. That's a long ways out, and he got it off to Caldwell Jones and a whistle.
That was a very smart play that time by Dawkins. He went up for the jump shot. Cedric Maxwell turned his back totally, thought the shot was coming up, and Dawkins dropped it wisely into Caldwell Jones.
That's a long ways out for Dawkins to be shooting, and this is a very apropos statement. I think that's how the Celtics feel. We've the best team until proven otherwise, and I think Bird said that with a kind of a grit on his teeth when he was doing it. A bonus now, in effect, the penalty. 3 to make 2. Caldwell Jones, there's his seasonal average. I think this guy, as Billy Cunningham epitomized him, is so taken for granted. He just amazes me what he can do. And he says the only man I know at that size that can play defense at a forward spot.
Well, his brother was a teammate of mine, Major, and he plays some defense also. So they seem to be a defensive-oriented family.
1-point lead now for the Celtics. Cowens, Archibald. You can see they're looking inside. They got it to Maxwell, and he had that ball tipped, I believe, by Erving. Here comes Lionel Hollins. Hollins, as you can see, the Celtics got back defensively very well that time. Here's Erving into Caldwell Jones, and he takes Bird inside.
Caldwell just having a fine series. Played very well against Atlanta also. In fact, he had 26 rebounds in that first game, and nobody in any playoff game has been able to match that number of rebounds.
He had 18 points in that game also. He has 6 already this afternoon. ML Carr. And Dawkins brings it down. Not good ball movement on that play. Here's Hollins, pass break, Caldwell. Boy, Caldwell Jones getting down here in a hurry.
And Lionel knew that he had made a bad pass. He was upset with himself because his man Caldwell was wide open, had a dunk.
Bill Fitch yelling, that's the 5th turnover now against the Sixers.
Of course, the transition game, Philadelphia getting down the court and getting those opportunities. That time they hurt themselves.
Both these teams opening up a little bit. The whole floor hasn't been as physical as we've seen some of the games thus far. Here's Cowens. Bird, back door. Caldwell Jones, he intimidated him.
Bird tried to muscle it up there, but couldn't make the shot.
Boy, that's where it's 7-1. It's tough to play against somebody like that, and Bird knew how tall he was. Here is Cheeks. Bird there with the rebound. Larry Bird's done an outstanding job in the rebounding department. He had 21 rebounds in an earlier game. Now Carr to Archibald. Wide open.
One of the few times the Philly defense broke totally down. There was no help at all. You cannot allow a man to go to the basket uncontested if you expect to win the game.
Boy, that's one of the few breakdowns. Boy, did M.L. Carr and Dawkins collide out here at midcourt. And now we're going to have a foul called as Carr and Dawkins are upset. That was started at midcourt when Dawkins set a pick that Carr ran into and then pushed off. And Earl Strom says, wait a minute, I'm in control of this game. You just settle down, and I think he meant it.
Bit of frustration, I think, on the part of ML getting hit in the backcourt, nothing being called, and Earl Strom was watching closely. ML gave a little bump back to Dawkins to say, here, you can't do that to me, but the official was right on top of it.
So Dawkins will go to the free throw line, and Strom is talking to him also. Well, I guess if you had 14 stitches in your shoulder, you might be kind of ornery, huh?
Well, especially if he hit it. I'm sure that had to hurt quite a bit.
Bill Fitch wants to know why his man was called for the foul.
He wants to know why there wasn't a foul in the backcourt. He's asking how come he didn't call the foul in the back when ML got hit.
Boy, you could hear that collision. You know, we're talking about that live boxing doubleheader. I heard a smack out here at center court.
Well, in that situation, the defensive man was not around, Dawkins' defensive man, and he was not able to warn ML of the screen coming up, and that could be really dangerous when you're running into 260 pounds. Now we'll see the play here. Here's Dawkins setting a good pick right there. Boom, crashes right into him. Dawkins set a very legal pick there, but nobody was there to help ML out by telling him about the screen.
Good camera work there by our director, Sandy Grossman, and as you can see, we're all even, 18 all. Archibald, Maxwell wasn't ready for it.
Well, it was also a situation where Tiny was forcing a little bit, taking it into the big guys and getting caught up in the air. No place to throw the ball.
3 turnovers now against the Boston Celtics. Inside, 4 minutes to go in this first period. The first of 2 on the NBA coverage as we'll be going to that Los Angeles-Seattle game after this one. Here's Lionel Hollins. Hollins shaking loose. 20-18. The Sixers by 2. Archibald now will wait for Cowens to assume his position in the keystone. And now here is Maxwell inside on Erving, rejected by the doctor. What a play by Erving. Cowens to pump one. Lionel Hollins comes away with it, or he did have it, and Archibald has it. Good second and third efforts, and we're going to have an elbowing foul on Archibald. He reached in with that elbow as he was driving. See if we can pick it up a little bit because here it comes.
All right, now here's Cowens to the miss. Look at the battle underneath on the board. Cedric able to get a finger out of Hollins, loses control. Good hustle by Maxwell. They knock it loose. Archibald will pick it up. Now he takes it to the hole, to the big guy, throws off his right arm, picks up the foul for the offensive foul against Archibald.
Sixers by 2. Erving wide open. Boy, the doctor moves off the ball well, doesn't he?
Kind of Archibald's fault on that one. His man Bibby set a screen on Larry Bird, and he didn't switch it, and the doc was wide open.
Archibald to reset it. The crowd here very unhappy. This is the 19th straight sellout here in the Boston Garden. Archibald, he has Henry Bibby inside, and we're going to have a foul on Bibby, and he does not like that call at all, and he just got a technical. Bibby had a T also assessed.
Billy Cunningham didn't like it either. He was up off the bench. Earl Strom is not about to take anything from the players out here, trying to establish control early.
So it'll be game number 5, Wednesday, 11:30 Eastern Time, Seattle, Los Angeles, and of course right now the Lakers leading that best-of-7 series 2-1. We'll have game 4 following this one. 22-18, Philadelphia with the lead. Archibald at the line shooting the technical that was assessed. Henry Bibby just before that timeout.
Talked to Tiny before the ball game, and he said that he was going to put up 20 shots tonight, that he's going to look to shoot the basketball. However, he better take those open opportunities that he had. On the offensive foul that he got, he had a shot about 8 feet from the hole. He lost his man. He should have pulled up instead of taking it to the big guy all the time.
Archibald, for this series, is about a point below average-wise that his season scoring average was. And Archibald now continuing to shoot at the free throw line, and he can make it a one-point game. Bibby with the foul and then the technical as the tempers flared once again. And you can imagine how tense this game is going to be as it continues to unfold. And the press again by Boston. This is what Billy C. was concerned about, but again the Sixers handle it very well. The doctor with Bird on him. Actually, Erving hasn't handled the ball all that much, has he?
No, he really hasn't been a factor here, but
he will be
around.
Yes, sir. There's Hollins. Beautiful reverse by Lionel Hollins.
It certainly was. He shot that with the right hand, and he's a left-handed player, so it shows you his versatility.
He has 11 points already, so he has picked up the scoring lead here for the Sixers in this first quarter of play with 2:17 to go in it. Archibald tried to get to Cowens. Like Bibby had a hand up. See how Dawkins comes out on him. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and he got it away.
Somebody should have come out and attacked Dave a little bit when he came off that screen, and with the shot clock going down, he would have had to force up a very difficult shot. Instead, he got it into his hook range.
Good timing by the veteran. Bibby with Archibald on him. Caldwell Jones intended for Erving, and that turnover gives it back to Boston, and that, thus far, is 6 turnovers against the Sixers.
But the Doc made a real good move. Caldwell just didn't read it. He had Bird beat back door. Bird was overcommitted. Caldwell, unfortunately, didn't see the Doc making the move.
Bobby Jones, you can see him in the background, getting ready to come in for Philadelphia. Here's Bird, 9 seconds on the shot clock, and he traveled. Larry Bird shuffled the feet.
Larry Bird has not been nearly as effective ever since Caldwell Jones has taken over the assignment of guarding him, which was in the middle of the third quarter in game number 2 when Larry was going real good. He missed 7 straight shots when Caldwell went on him, and he has not been that big an offensive factor since that time. Bobby Jones also has done a good job on it.
Yes, he has. Well, that's a 1-2 punch, isn't it, when you can put both those guys on Larry Bird. 24-23, the Sixers with the lead. Bobby Jones against Maxwell. The doctor wide open on the play.
Well, Bird was inside trying to help out on Jones, and Bobby saw 2 men, flipped it to the open man. The Doc hit it.
As you said, he's shooting so much better, that jump shot. Here's Maxwell. Erving with another rebound. Here they come on the fast break. Again, though, the Celtics are back, but Bibby finds Jones.
That's where they're so tough. They have men who can take it in, get the good pass, the penetration. Hollins can do it. Bibby can do it. Bobby Jones gets down. The Doc can do it. Boston doesn't have quite as many people who are capable of making that kind of a play, and they're beating them in the transition game.
It looks like they're back, but all of a sudden, they go right by him.
That's the point I'm making, Gary, is they have people on the Philadelphia team who can create situations even if the numbers aren't there. And by that I mean it's not a 3-on-2 break where they have the advantage. It's 3-on-3, 4-on-4. They have creators. Boston doesn't have as many.
Well, tonight on CBS, we have quite a lineup coming your way. We'll start your Sunday evening with 60 Minutes. Then at Archie Bunker's place, Archie wants Murray out, and the State Tax Department wants Archie in. On a special showing of the all-new Stockard Channing Show, Susan hits 30 with a disco roller skating party that's a riot on wheels. And then on Alice, Tommy falls for an older woman, and Mel's diner nearly falls apart. And on the Jeffersons, Louise thinks she's seen a murder committed by a giant rabbit. And then on Trapper John N.D., Gonzo's torn between loyalty and honesty on CBS. There's Maravich getting ready to come in. Let's listen now.
Like Larry, you come out.
Bill Fitch talking.
Stay on this side. What I want is a forward to be able to get a one-on-one. So the guard, once you enter, go to the corner. Dave is down here. That means just one guard is over here. Take him. Okay. And we're going to put heat on. He hasn't played defense in this. All right. Go, man. Come on.
That was a play to try and set up to isolate a forward to make Julius Erving play some defense as Pete Maravich comes into the ball game.
This is something, isn't it? He's never played on a championship team. It would culminate his whole basketball life. He's really glad to be a Boston Celtic. He was very significant in Game 3. He came in the fourth quarter and scored 9 points. You can see his knees, but he says he's back now physically.
I don't think he's quite 100% though, Gary, but he could be a factor if he gets the hot hand.
28-23. ML Carr, three-pointer.
Well, that isn't exactly making the Doc play defense and taking him one-on-one, but it sure was effective.
That came at a very good time for Boston, who was struggling. And now they're within 2 after that three-pointer. Henry Bibby, look at that pass. A rifle shot intended for Erving.
I don't know if the Doc even could have handled that one with as great a hands as he has. That was some rifle pass by Bibby.
That was the fastball down the pipe, wasn't it? 33 seconds to go, first period. Archibald to Bird. Bird uses a screen, three-pointer. And Erving easily comes down with a rebound. Hollins, fast break, Bobby Jones. Look at that catch by Jones.
That's just a great individual effort by Bobby Jones. He simply outran Larry Bird, got open, and a great pass. And a fine play by Jones.
Boy, he had to do that reaching back. And with 10 seconds, they're going for the last shot now this first quarter. 30-26, Philadelphia with the lead. Archibald off to Pistol Pete. And Maravich hits his first effort of the afternoon, and that will end our first 12 minutes of play. And that could give Maravich kind of a shot in the arm.
And that was a smart play by Maravich. He made the play. Tiny, again, got himself into big trouble, taking it into the middle. Pete was really smart, moved to an open area so that Tiny could see him. He got him the ball. The pistol hit his first shot. Could be a big factor.
Gary Bender with Rick Barry. And Rick, shooting percentages for Philadelphia 67%. But again, as you put it, how can you miss some stuff shots like they've been shooting?
Well, that's exactly right. Philadelphia has not had to shoot many shots from the outside, and numerous occasions we pointed out earlier when Hollins was shooting jumpers, they were fouling them. They don't count as attempted shots, so they get some points on the free throw line, and they've gotten a lot of transition opportunities where they've gotten dunks or in close shots, so that's why their percentage is so far superior to Boston's.
You see Gerald Henderson is checked in at guard along with Maravich. Bird, boy, what a pass off to Cowens. He had eyes in the back of his head. And here comes Caldwell Jones at 7-1. Look how he can move. Thrown away, though. Bibby can't handle it.
That was a bad pass by Caldwell. Big guy like that should try and get it to the little man as quickly as possible and fill the lane and get to the board.
We should mention Henderson was also hit by that mirror that fell off of the locker in the dressing room in Philadelphia. But he's all right. He said he's a little sore in the one shoulder. Larry Bird. Bird starts heating up, and it changes the complexion. 30 all. Larry Bird thus far, a total of 4 points. Erving out to Bibby. Here's Henderson, super quick out of Virginia Commonwealth, a real find this year. Hollins making things happen. Erving is fouled by Dave Cowens.
Dave knew that he was beaten on that play with Julius going for the offensive rebound, and he gave him what Lou Carnesecca, former coach of mine, the great coach of St. John's, calls the subway push. Now we'll watch the pass here by Hollins. Doc goes up. He'll miss this shot. Now watch Cowens right there. Well, he cut it off. He gave him the pass back to live action.
Just a little love touch. And there is a loose ball foul. Earl Strom indicating this foul is going to go against Carr. That'll be 3 on him. So Carr and Ford now have 3 fouls each. 11:04 to go, second period. Erving posting up in low.
All over when Doc gets it that close to the basket. He's got such great jumping ability.
32-30, 2-point lead by the Sixers. Henderson trying to get Maravich inside, off to ML Carr. Carr playing with the 3 personals, and he was tripped by Erving. A foul, unintentionally. Julius tripped him up, and he picks up the personal foul. So the Celtics will inbounds it.
He wasn't too happy about the call either, as you can see.
I think you're right. That's his second personal. Here's Henderson. Both Ford and Archibald out of there now, and Henderson, same thing happened to him. Bibby commits this foul.
Yeah, that's one of those things that the officials will make that call all the time against the man who does the tripping, but Henry Bibby didn't do anything on purpose. His foot was actually planted on the floor. Henderson stepped on his foot and tripped over it.
That's the second foul on Bibby. Henderson going to the line. Gerald Henderson, a rookie at 6'2", averaged a little over 6 points a game. His main asset is quickness.
But Philadelphia can match that. Henry Bibby and Maurice Cheeks, they have some quickness also to go with it. And then, of course, the other guards, Hollins is very quick also, a lot quicker than the pistol, so they do have a distinct advantage in that matchup.
A 1-point game. Philadelphia trying to close out this best-of-7 series. They don't want to return home on Wednesday night. Here's Bobby Jones, Bird on him. Henry Bibby. Bibby had 17 points in game 1. Broken up. Bird comes away with it. Good defense that time by Boston. ML Carr. Maravich, he wants a shot. And he's going to get one. Rebound by the Doctor. Bibby on the break. He runs into Maravich. The basket will count and a foul on Pistol Pete.
Exactly what Bill Fitch was talking about to me. He's going to call Pete Maravich over to talk to him right now as we play again. Here's the break. Doc with the ball, pitches it out to the wing. Pete tries to get over. You can see that the man was committed, Bibby. Pete was over there a little bit late. He picks up the foul, but Fitch is going to talk to Pete. He was worried about his shot selection. That was not a good shot on Pete's part. He said they've been burned by it. This time they were burned again.
Walter Cronkite and his team, they've been busy, have they? That recent attempt to rescue the hostages?
Certainly have, and I'll tell you one thing, it's hard for me to even envision CBS News without Walter Cronkite. It's kind of like us doing games without our producer, Bob Stenner.
Well, there's a fair analogy there. 35.
Actually, pretty lousy one, actually.
35-31, Philadelphia with the lead. A while ago, you were mentioning the shot selection not good as Carr fouled by Steve Mix, who just checked in for the Sixers.
A good move that time by ML. Getting back to that shot selection, what you have a tendency to do sometimes when things aren't working well for you offensively is to try to indiscriminately fire up every opportunity that you get. What you must force yourself to do is to have even more discipline than before. Try to continue to do what has been so successful throughout the course of the regular season for you and get into your offense and get the shots off of the flow of the offense and try not to force things. The Boston Celtics are not doing that all that well.
ML Carr now with 4 points in the game. Rebound by Bobby Jones. Bird, by the way, thus far has put the ball up 5 times, hitting only 2. He has had a hand in his face almost every time. Bibby, here's Mix. The Jones, good ball movement that time. A foul on Maravich. Boy, did they swing that ball around in a hurry.
They certainly did, and that's what coaches try to prevent the team from doing. At least they want their team to do it, is prevent swinging of the basketball. Here's the play again. There's the reverse. Bobby Jones got a back pick. Pete a little bit late. His man set the screen. He didn't switch out in time. Bobby Jones had the front position. Good pass in by Mix and a chance for a 3-point play, which he makes.
2 fouls now on Maravich. 7 points for Bobby Jones, and it's 38-32 after that 3-point play. Cowens off to Larry Bird. Jones picking him up, respecting that 3-point area. Henderson, look at the quickness he has. That's what we were talking about.
That time, the defensive breakdown by Philly. Neither Bobby Jones nor Steve Mix left their respective men to help out on the drive. That's why he was able to go all the way to the basket.
And Bibby has run over Henderson, but Henderson is guilty of the foul. He can't believe it.
Nor can Bill Fitch.
A penalty now in as, let's look at it again.
Now we see the play. Now watch him right there. He gets in front. Bibby gives a little left shoulder. He certainly... The signal that Earlstrom gave was that Henderson grabbed. Henderson did not grab, and if that was his call, then it was a bad one.
Bill Fitch, first year as the coach of the Celtics, his team with the best record in the regular season to play, and the team with the second best record opposing them here, the Philadelphia 76ers. It's still a 4-point game. 9 minutes to go till halftime. Cowens. Larry Bird trying to hustle the boards. Carr comes away with it. Bird really doing some tough inside work on the board. Maravich. Bird again. Great effort. Cowens tips it.
Think the Celtics wanted that one, Gary?
Larry Bird, he's just going in the trenches right now.
They're really digging down. They're battling for everything that they've got. They know that they have to win to stay alive.
38-36, Cowens. Look at the defense by Dave Cowens. Let's go back to that other play.
There's Bird. Had great timing. He didn't get real high, but his timing was absolutely perfect. Misses the left hand, and the ball just does roll off the rim. Otherwise, it could have been offensive goaltending by Cowens.
We have a timeout. Dave Cowens with 10 points in the game and a fine defensive effort. 2-point lead for Philadelphia. At halftime, we'll have the Eastern Conference Finals of the Pepsi-Cola NBA Hot Shot Competition, and those kids are a joy to watch. Halftime, we'll also have a pregame report on that Seattle-Los Angeles game with Sonics trailing in that series 2-1. Inside to Bobby Jones. Boy, he hit the deck, too, afterwards.
40-36. Bobby is able to beat his defensive man to the ball, and once you allow that to happen as a defender, you're going to have big trouble.
9 points. You know, every time they've had a timeout, Rick, they've come back and executed the play very well. Here's Maravich. Just can't get it to go for it. He's hit 1 of 4 thus far. Cowens to Larry Bird. Bird 2 of 5 in the shooting department. Tries to get to Cowens. Did they overpass it there?
That's just good defense that time. We'll take a look at Bobby Jones now. on this last play. There you see Bird just lost his man. Bobby Jones beat him on a good quick cut. Might have been fouled even, but no call.
40-36. As you mentioned, the Sixers clamped down inside on that last play down the floor. Mix backing in on ML Carr. Left-hander, and Mix, who played very well Friday night, follows his own shot.
Sixers playing very fine basketball. Doctor only has 6 points. Dawkins only 3, but yet they still seem to be in control.
Henderson can't get it to go, and the Sixers are on the move again with a 42-36 advantage. Bibby takes Henderson in. Carr comes away with a rebound. Boston needs a basket. And broken up by Lionel Hollins. Good, quick hands of Hollins.
Great anticipation on Lionel's part that time. He was really ready for the bounce pass, which is usually one of the most difficult passes to get in the way of as Maurice Cheeks comes in for Lionel Hollins.
Well, you have one quick man going out and Cheeks coming in, so that is again showing the depth of this Philadelphia team as Larry Bird now will exit the ball game. Cedric Maxwell is checked back in for Boston. They call themselves the Pine Boys, the bench of Philadelphia, and they've really contributed.
And there's another great play by Bobby Jones defensively.
Jones down at the other end, and he charged that time into Dave Cowens.
What happened is Bobby had lost control of the ball a little bit, and so in his attempt to regain possession, he did not see Dave Cowens in the position he was in, ran into him, picked up the offensive foul.
Bobby Jones in the sixth-man role has really come to life for this Philadelphia team. Maravich using the pick by Cowens. Boy, he just can't get that shot to go for him. Loose ball foul inside.
Cedric Maxwell picks it up. We'll watch the play again. Maravich again wide open. As Gary pointed out, he can't find the basket. Just a hair short. Right there, Maxwell jumping over the back.
Maxwell with his second personal foul. He'll send Steve Mix to the line. Cunningham talking to Darryl Dawkins as Dawkins will come into the lineup.
I think Billy's a little keyed up to see him trying to lick his lips to get a little more moisture on there. He's probably all dried from the intensity of the situation.
Boy, their team is remarkable. They're 9-2 in the playoffs this year. They're 6-0 at home.
Gary, they had just peaked at the right time. They started playing their best basketball during the middle of March, late in the season. And that's what it really takes. It takes that to happen to you. Stay away from injuries. Get your team to play good basketball.
As an end result, they're leading now 44-36. All those things that you just mentioned is one of those reasons. Here is Maxwell with Jones on him. Maravich trying to shake Bibby. He's loose. Doesn't want the shot this time. And that may be a lack of confidence after missing those others. ML Carr.
ML also was in there with Tiny when I talked to him. He said he's just going to play. He's going to take his shots. It's a good indication of it. Tiny did have a shot, but he elected not to take it.
Here's Cheeks with Archibald on him. 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half of play. Mix using the screen by Bibby, and the left-hander's on the way. Mix playing very well. We have a baseline violation. Archibald stepped across when he started to pass, did not pass, and that'll turn it over to Philadelphia.
Well, Maurice Cheeks made that play happen. He overplayed Maravich. They couldn't get the ball to Maravich. Nobody else was looking, and Tiny had committed and stepped over the line.
Boston now fighting to regain their poise at this stage of the game. Mix with Carr on him. Mix wants to shoot the ball. He has the confidence. Bobby Jones.
Bench is just absolutely outplaying Boston. Their bench is killing them. They've done it throughout the series, and they're really doing it here.
Jones and Mix coming off that bench to do what you were just mentioning. Here's Archibald. Found the opening. Nice play to Maxwell.
That time Tiny was able to get all the way to the basket, and when he got the defenders to commit, he dished it off to Maxwell for the easy stuffer. When he can get in that far, he should do it.
The Sixers with an 8-point lead. Remember now, Philadelphia's been a great second-half ball club. Now they have the advantage. Darryl Dawkins, he's going to put one up from too far out. Maxwell with the rebound. Archibald, Cheeks tries to avoid the foul. Look at Tiny, beautiful play. He hit the deck, gets up, but that was a remarkable effort by Nate Archibald. 48-42, and Bibby's going to be called for charging.
This time they got him.
There's Cunningham. He's going to make a change. He'll send in Lionel Hollins.
Here's the play now. Tiny with the drive. Bobby Jones, he slides by. Darryl just a hair late, decided not to go after him. Tiny was able to make the shot.
So Lionel Hollins comes in. Henry Bibby goes out. That was his third foul, and Julius Erving is going to come in and give Bobby Jones a breather. Talk about depth. Jones, Erving, Mix coming in. Here's a steal attempt by Julius. Julius all year long did a job in that area. In fact, He was 6th in the NBA in steals. Maxwell to Cowens. Boston trying to make a move now. 48-42. Maravich seeing a lot of playing time in his first half. Kicked by Hollins. It'll be Boston's basketball.
Billy Cunningham said that he likes to have Hollins on Maravich, which he feels that Lionel could do a job on Pete and nullify his offensive capabilities somewhat.
Does that make a difference, too, when you're left-handed defensively? Here is Cowens saving it into Maravich, sometimes reaching in with that left hand.
They can when you're playing against a right-handed player, as he's doing in this situation.
Here's Archibald, cheeks on him. Maravich, you can see Hollins there. He is with that left hand reach in. Big steal in this game. 50-42. It's back to an 8-point lead now for the Sixers. Boy, Philadelphia has just been awesome.
Well, Pete's not playing that well, but he's forced to leave him in the game, mainly because Chris Ford picked up those 3 early fouls.
He needs some help. Carr has mix on him. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 6 seconds. 5, 4, and it's broken up again.
That's Lionel Hollins again doing it.
Doctor has it broken up though. Cowens reached in. Maravich out to Maxwell. Bill Fitch's team right now indecisive. Having a tough time getting their composure back. Now Cowens yells, says get the ball inside, and they did, but they telegraphed it.
Certainly did. Dawkins saw that coming, and Tiny threw it up there for grabs, and Darryl went and picked it off. Boston Celtic team not playing their normal, intelligent basketball.
Mix shoots one, and Bill Fitch asks for a timeout. Boston right now not looking like the team that posted the best record in the NBA, winning 61 games, the most dramatic turnaround from one season to the other. As it's 52-42, the Sixers. Boston hopes to have regrouped forces during that timeout. Rick, you were mentioning the bench scoring. Philadelphia leads Boston 22-11. So you can see how much more effective their bench has been thus far. Here's Dave Cowens. Oh, what a power move inside. Henderson with a good effort. Larry Bird is checked back in. Beautiful pass to Cowens. That's the Celtics we're used to seeing.
That was just outstanding play that time by Larry Bird. He had gotten up there and was committed, but the defense opened up, got the ball to Cowens.
Boy, they had a fire about him on that play. Something that was lacking before that timeout. 52-44. Erving out to Mix. Mix has been hot. He missed there after hitting 3 for 4. Bird up to Archibald. Archibald penetrating. He's in trouble. Gets it out to Cowens. Henderson broken up by Hollins. Boy, Hollins has been reaching in on everybody.
He's just had great anticipation for the ball out here this afternoon.
Cunningham concerned that they're going to lose their edge. They had things going their way before that timeout. Maxwell to Bird. Bird with Erving right alongside him, and he got a piece of the ball.
Yet he hesitated. He had the shot when he first caught the ball, didn't take it, got in trouble.
Hollins driving in. Beautiful play by Lionel Hollins.
That's exactly what I talked about. He's the type of player who go in there and create something when it looks like nothing is there.
And so it's back to a 10-point lead for Philadelphia. Archibald with Maurice cheeks on him, working the screen by Cowens. Give and go, and Cowens walked with the basketball. A lot of turnovers in this game by Boston, 12 to be exact, but a lot of them have been walking violations, not throwing the ball away. Caldwell Jones now checks in for Philadelphia. Gets it off to Cheeks, having a lot of trouble. Fans thinking he may have palmed the basketball there. Off to Erving. Erving on the turnaround. Maxwell with the rebound. Boston needs to cut within 10. That'll be off of Hollins and a foul on Lionel Hollins.
Here's the play again. Henderson looks like he's going to the inside. Makes the quick cut back to the outside. Hollins with great anticipation, but he wasn't able to get forward and make the steal. If he had been able to get his momentum going forward, he could have picked that ball clean. He's a real fine defensive player.
That's the first foul on Hollins. Remarkable for as active as he has been defensively. Larry Bird looking for the three-pointer. Dawkins out to get him. Cowens on the mismatch. He got it. Beautiful left-hand hook. I guess it really isn't a mismatch when you got Caldwell Jones who can fall back into the hole and play defense. 54-46, 2 minutes to go in this first half. And we're going to have a blocking foul against Philadelphia. Caldwell Jones picking it up. And so Boston now, down by 8, could cut it to 6 as we come inside 2 minutes in this first half. And you can hear this crowd of 15,350. They want to keep this series going. Maxwell, beautiful play. He has misses a chance for a three-point play. That basket will count.
That's 3 fouls on Julius Erving also. It's amazing this Boston team, as you want to play again, come in here. Maxwell's got the ball, pump fake. The Doc completely out of position. 3-point opportunity for Maxwell. Again, Gary, Boston is not playing that well. Philadelphia has been in control, but yet Philly cannot really blow them out. This shows you how good Boston is as a basketball team. Even playing poorly, they still keep, as they say in track and field, in contact with the field. And they are an outstanding basketball team as Bobby Jones replaces the Doctor.
Maxwell with a penalty has another one coming. Maxwell led the NBA in field goal percentage this year. He shot 63% against the Houston Rockets in that series you were in, Rick, but he can't get either one of those to go. So he misses the chance for a three-point play. 54-48. Boston would like to get just a little closer before they go into that intermission. Lionel Hollins. Rebound to Henderson. Henderson seen a lot of game action. Here comes Bird. Bird to Cowens. Cowens out to Archibald. Henderson. Quick movement this time by the Celtics and a foul. Henderson penetrating inside and a foul coming up. Let's wait to see who it's on.
That was very close to being goaltending on that play.
We're still waiting on who was the guilty party, as Henderson will go to the line. Here he is. He hasn't played all that much in the playoffs, but here today trying to make some changes in that backcourt. The foul will go on Hollins. It's his second. In that first period, Boston hit 7 of 7 for the free throw line. They have a little difficulty right now. 54-49. They hit this one. They're within 4, Rick, and as you said, that's keeping in contact. Pressure now by Boston. A minute 26 to go, first half. Cheeks. He's going to reset it to Lionel Hollins, and this place is deafening right now. The crowd. As Boston was second in the NBA in attendance this year, second only to Seattle. Hollins had it broken up, but Bobby Jones came away with it. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And a foul spotted inside against the Boston Celtics. Larry Bird, he can't believe it.
Here's the play again. Bobby Jones gets it back out to Hollins. He drives in. Right there, Bird's call for the foul. Certainly didn't look like he hit anything but basketball on that one.
They're going to call it on Archibald, Rick. It was Bird that went through the disbelief, but it was Archibald that made the body contact. Lionel Hollins at the line. He missed both of them. That shows you how tense this game is right now. Both teams having trouble at the free throw line. Archibald now with a chance to cut it to 2. Up to Henderson. They left him alone. Rejected by Caldwell. Jones goaltending. And it's a 2-point game.
One of those situations that you see happen so often. 2 defenders have a man trapped. All of a sudden, one guy runs off to go back to his man, but turns out that they leave an opening for the offensive player to get a good shot.
So after trailing by 10 points, Boston is within 2. 47 seconds to go in the first half. Darryl Dawkins takes Cowens inside, and Cowens with the foul. Dave Cowens now with 2 personal fouls.
There's a great pass coming up here by Lionel Hollins. He goes, sees the man open, hits the bounce pass inside. Dawkins takes that one dribble, which isn't always necessary, and in this situation it didn't hurt him all that much, but so many players have a tendency to do that, and for those youngsters listening, that's one habit you should try to eliminate from your game, is the one bounce syndrome.
A penalty in, 3 to make 2, 55-52. See Fitch in the background saying, let's get the ball out on the break if we can. Have another free throw coming, and again, both teams really struggling right now at the free throw line. Here's Darryl. Darryl, during the course of the regular season of play, hit 65% from the stripe. 56-52. 40 seconds. There you see the time remaining in the upper portion of your screen. Maxwell trying to pass to Bird, and we have a foul. Wally Rooney spotting that away from the ball.
Here we see the play here. Larry Bird pushing off, and a good call. Larry Bird using the left arm to free himself.
That's the first foul on Larry Bird. Now with 30 seconds remaining in the first half. A 4-point lead for the Sixers. Archibald trying to stay with Mo Cheeks. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Caldwell Jones. Cheeks comes away with it. They're getting the multiple opportunities. Hollins looks up at the scoreboard. And he sees they can go for the last shot of the first half.
Very smart play in that situation.
Cheeks, Bobby Jones, good ball movement. And it's back to a 6-point lead now for the Philadelphia 76ers. And so the Celtics have climbed back into this game, trailing by 10 points. They lost their poise there at about the midway point of the second quarter. They've regained it now. They have reestablished contact in this game. I don't need to tell you they're very much in the picture as they try to avoid the elimination, being eliminated from this best-of-7 series. They would like to continue it in the Spectrum Wednesday night. As right now, Philadelphia with that 58-52 lead, trying to win their second game in the series in the Boston Garden after losing all 3 regular season games by 19, 19, and 21 points. We're going to be back halftime in a moment. The preceding announcement, well, brought to you by the NBA, and let's take a look now at the scoring in this first half of play. Let's look at Philadelphia. I think the interesting thing in Philadelphia is how well their bench is done. Bobby Jones coming off with 13 points, Mix with 8, and the doctor in this ball game thus far really been shut down with a total of 6. Caldwell Jones with 6, Dawkins with 5, so the bench doing an excellent job. On the other hand, the Boston Celtics likewise not getting a lot of scoring from Larry Bird. He has 4, Carr with 6, Cowens playing remarkably well in this first half. Archibald contributed offensively in about the midway point of that second quarter. Maxwell and then Henderson with 7 points. He's been getting a lot of playing time in this first half of play, and Henderson has acquitted himself very, very well. So that's how we stand at half, as Philadelphia twice in that first half of play led by 10 points, 48-38 and 54-44, only to see then the Celtics come climbing back in and eventually fall behind at halftime, 58-52. So Boston hoping to hang on in this series.
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau. Napa and your local Napa Auto Parts store. When the name is Napa, the standard is quality. And by 7-Up, the crisp, clear, refreshing soft drink that fits America's new active kind of life.
All right, let's join Rick Barry. He's on the sidelines.
Thank you very much, Gary. With me, Larry Bird. Larry, you really weren't able to get involved in the offense that much in the first half. Any special plans for the second half?
No, not really. The first half, I don't think anybody really got involved in offense. We wouldn't move the ball like we're capable of moving it. The second half, we're come out and trying to execute real well. Hopefully, we can get things going.
Anything that Bill said to you in specifics as far as your defense or your ball handling? I think that you seem to overpass the ball a little bit more in the first half than you normally would.
Well, we was making a lot of bad passes early, and then we couldn't get the things going the way we wanted them to go. But he said a lot to us at halftime to get our momentum, maybe help us get our momentum going, and players play harder. But, you know, if we don't play hard now, it's all over.
Well, you got a lot of work. Get out there and warm up. Thanks, Larry. Back to you, Gary.
That's exactly right. If they don't do it now, it's all over. As far as turnovers in this game, Boston with 13, Philadelphia with 14, and Larry Bird with 4 points, the doctor with 6 points, and both these men, of course, have carried the lead offensively. Let's go now to Rick Barry. He's with Billy Cunningham.
Billy, you have to feel pretty good. Dawkins and Erving really weren't much of a factor in the first half offensively, but the defense was outstanding.
Yes, Rick, and the big key was what we got. The contribution from our bench really came off and gave us a great lift. Bobby Jones and Steve Misk especially.
I want to know what you said to Lionel Hollins. I mean, he's playing like a man possessed out there. He's doing everything.
Oh, we hope he keeps going in the second half.
Well, good luck to you, Billy. Back to you, Gary.
As far as rebounds are concerned in this game, Philadelphia leading Boston by only 1, 20-19. Philly with 5 offensive rebounds, 15 defensively. Boston with 8 on offense, 11 defensively. And so the Boston Celtics with either a half remaining in their season or moving on to the 6th game Wednesday night in the Spectrum. You're looking at Doug Collins in that blue Sood, who is out, of course. He's had all kinds of injury problems, and that's where Lionel Hollins has been so important to this team, is when Collins went out, Hollins just picked up.
I couldn't believe it when I read in the newspaper during the season that the Sixers had picked up Lionel Hollins from Portland. That was a very, very big acquisition for them, and you can see out here this afternoon why Lionel Hollins has been such an important cog in the Philadelphia success story.
Well, let's look at the stats more in detail. Field goal percentage, Boston up a little bit, especially from Friday night, but look at 76er shooting.
Doesn't do much good when you improve your own field goal percentage and allow the other team to shoot 58%.
Rebounds, as I mentioned, there's only one difference there, as we're underway now, third quarter.
Again, just by the statistics, it's the shooting, the inability of the Celtics to outshoot the 76ers.
Archibald and Ford, Maxwell, Cowens, and Bird, the starting five for Bill Fitch. Rebound by Darryl Dawkins. Dawkins, Erving, Caldwell Jones, Lionel Hollins, and Maurice Cheeks. The same five players for each respective team that opened the ball game. Boston twice down by 10 points in that first half. Here's Dawkins. Cowens coming out on him. The doctor with only 6 points in that first half. He had 22 points in the second half of the game earlier this year when he had 6. Remember that?
Never count the doctor out. He's such an explosive player.
There's Dave Cowens trying another one, so he's 1 for 2 now as we start this third quarter.
That's where Dave Cowens is so tough as a center coming down as a trailer. He pulls up to shoot that opportunity outside shot. Not many centers are capable of doing that.
He has 16 points, leading the Boston Celtics. Here's Cheeks off to the doctor. Caldwell Jones, a lean-in hook, almost impossible to stop. 60-54. Caldwell Jones with 8 points. Remember now, the foul department, the doctor has 3 fouls, as does Chris Ford and Steve Mix. Erving with another rebound. Lionel Hollins now quarterbacking this club. He had 11 points in that first quarter. Hollins really got him started well. Darryl Dawkins against Cowens. He doesn't want to take that shot. Caldwell will, though. Another lean-in hook, but this time Bird has a rebound. The Boston Celtics trailing 60-54. Tiny Archibald, a lot of traffic. Couldn't get it to go. Steal by Bird. Larry Bird a pull-up. Maxwell, and they're just horsing the boards right now. Wait a minute, a foul is spotted by Wally Rooney.
Caldwell Jones. Basket will not count. It's a loose ball foul.
That's the second foul on Caldwell. Bill Fitch looking on.
Again, Tiny Archibald getting himself into an area where he gets in tremendous trouble. If he can't take it all the way to the basket, he's got to dish it off a little bit sooner and not get himself into such a jam.
I thought Larry Bird was very tentative on that last shot, didn't you? Here's a guy that can shoot with anyone, and right now not in that rhythm. Good defense that time by Caldwell Jones. Cowens tipped out by Erving, but to the wrong side. Boston getting multiple shots, and it pays off. No, Bird again. They just can't get the ball to go down for him. And it's going to be off of Philadelphia. Well, they're giving it a shot, aren't they? They just can't get that ball to go down the hole right now.
Very frustrating for an offensive performer like Bird to not have those easy shots go down. Larry was very fortunate he didn't have a foul called on him because he pushed off to get that extra opportunity.
The Boston Celtics with 13 World Championship flags. And if they're going to get number 14, they're going to have to move here today to stay alive in this series. We're mentioning Larry Bird shooting. Rick Barry, he's hit 2 of 11 in this game. There's Cowens on the move. Cowens is putting the ball up, but he's only hit 1, and there's a steal by Maxwell. Cedric Maxwell, Bird. There he got one to go. He was shooting 18% from the field before that shot.
One thing about the Celtics, the offense not working all that well for them right now, but they're hanging tough defensively, and that's what's keeping them in the basketball game.
Really had the quick hands in the backcourt in this early going to the third quarter with 9:15 remaining in it. 60-56, the Sixers of the lead. Into Dawkins, pushing off on Bird, and he puts it in. Boy, he leaned in on Larry Bird that time. 62-56. Archibald to Ford. Ford hasn't handled the ball that much. Off to Dave Cowens. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Larry Bird, Caldwell Jones staying with him. Look at that defense by Caldwell Jones. He traveled with the ball.
Let's watch the last play where Bird was under the basket on the switch off. Here's the Doc. Good screen by Dawkins. Cowens wisely jumps out. Bird allowed Dawkins to get the front position on him. A man that strong and that close. 2 points almost all the time.
That's a losing battle on that kind of a meeting. 62-56. But again, what a job defensively by Caldwell Jones on that last play.
He's done some job ever since that defensive switch in game 2.
Hollins double team. Maxwell got the hand on the ball, and they're coming up with the steals. Maxwell takes Caldwell Jones in, and Jones commits the foul, and Maxwell is on the ground. He'll be all right. He challenged Caldwell Jones on that play.
That was just all Cedric Maxwell. Total individual effort. He made the block down the other end, took it on the drive. There's the body contact. He had the body contact before the left arm was going into motion, so the foul went against Caldwell Jones.
That's 3 on Jones, 3 on Erving, 3 on Bibby. Ford and Carr have 3 fouls for the Boston Celtics. Maxwell, this is a guy that's very, very deceptive. You look at him, you think he can't possibly get up and down the floor like he does, but he manages.
It's amazing what's happened to his free throw percentage. He was shooting 90-some-odd% when he shot against us, the Rockets, in the playoffs. He was shooting real well in the first ball game, and now he's starting to miss quite a few opportunities. He's missed 3 already in this game.
He shot 79% from the line during the regular season of play. 62-57. 8-12 left in the third period. Cowens got away with that, but Dawkins has the ball, and Darryl Dawkins has been fouled. Boy, Cowens with a good effort. Ford on the ground.
And we'll see the play again. Now watch Cowens. Look how he jumps out. Not many centers can do that. Looked like foul there. He did hit Hollins. You see him holding his face. Dawkins in the right position at the right time. From behind, the foul on Cedric Maxwell.
Now they're saying that foul, yes, it did go on Maxwell. That's his third. Chris Ford mentioning to Maxwell that he has 3. He's writing over to him to tell him. It's Darryl Dawkins at the line. You know, Dawkins has 8 points, but it's kind of a quiet 8 points. Again, the free throws. 63-57. Both teams missing some good opportunities at that line. Larry Bird. Intended for Maxwell. There's the doctor with yet another steal. And he is fouled by Chris Ford, and that'll be 4 on Chris Ford.
The doctor really wanted that one. I think he wanted to take it in there and get a dunk and try to perhaps get his team going, get himself going.
I think Ford thought he fouled him before the shot. That's what the argument is all about.
Exactly. Here's the play again. Here's the doctor. Look at him. Put the little burst on there. He wants to take it all the way in. He reaches in. Foul would look like fairly early, but in the NBA they have a rule that's called a continuation rule. It looked like the doc had committed himself to take it to the basket, and that's what the ruling I'm sure is in this case.
I think it's interesting. Erving went down the left side that time. Now, you'd rather have him on that left side, wouldn't you?
Well, of course, he can do that on the fast break situation. He's going to take whatever he can get, but in the set offense is where you need to force him back to the middle. You can't give him the right hand on the drive to the basket.
4 fouls, remember now, on Chris Ford, and again another free throw does not find the mark. 64-57, 7:45 left. The Celtics, they've got to win today.
That play, Tiny Archibald could have had an easy jump shot. He didn't even look for it coming off the screen.
Ford trying to shake Hollins, and that's been a real tough assignment. Handed out to Cowens, 3 seconds on the shot clock, and the Sixers come away with it. Mo Cheeks was it. Up to Julius, beautiful pass to Hollins. And Bill Fitch asks for a timeout as his team still not putting all the pieces together.
Again, they're trying to force the ball, try to overpass. They have to take the shots in the flow of the offense. I pointed out that Archibald did not take the shot. This time it cost him on the forced pass by Cowens.
A viewing habit in our home, Walter Cronkite. You can associate every big news story with him. Kind of grown up, expecting him to tell us what's happening. We have a 66-57 game. The Sixers are the lead, 7 minutes remaining, third quarter. Dave Cowens, as Bill Fitch had called a timeout, trying to get his troops back together. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Dave Cowens, he has 18 points, and he has been the offensive leader for this Boston team this afternoon.
Dave realizes somebody has got to pick up this team, and he's doing his best to try to do it.
I think it's remarkable. The Celtics are very much in this picture when Bird has scored only 6 points. Here's Cheeks. Archibald on him. Dawkins trying to bring Cowens away from the hole. Hollins, Ford on him with 1 second on the shot clock. Good defense by Ford that time. As Bowser sounded just about the time that ball was underway, Archibald loses it. Now watch the doctor. Let's see if he challenges Cowens. Nope. He thinks better of it. Off to Cheeks, broken up by Bird. That would have been an interesting confrontation if he had taken that in against Dave Cowens.
All right, well, there's an interesting situation. The Doc hasn't really gotten involved in this game offensively, and as a result, he didn't try to take that. I'm sure he'd been doing well. He would have tried to do something with that play.
That's an interesting point. Here's Lionel Hollins inside. Boy, he made things happen there.
Lionel Hollins,
Jones.
He's been very instrumental in the success of Philadelphia so far in this ball game. Probably more than any one player on the team so far.
Caldwell Jones, CJ with 10 points. He's probably been the biggest surprise all afternoon. Lionel Hollins. Cowens open again. Cowens with 20 points. This veteran, he doesn't want his title aspirations ended here this afternoon. He's been there before. He wants to go back. Jones, Maxwell, we have a charging foul? No. Nate Archibald guilty of the foul. Archibald decked on the play, and that will be his third personal.
There's the play again. Now, watch Lionel Hollins go to make a move. Tiny moved right into him. A good call by the official.
During that replay, the Celtics coming up with the steal. Archibald penetrates. And now it's 68-63, and the Celtics are starting to make a move. 5.5 minutes to go in the third period. They trail by 9 here in the third, and now they've cut it back. Hollins to Dawkins. Bird blocks it, but it's going to be a foul on either Bird or Maxwell, both of them.
Maxwell just absolutely grabbed Dawkins on that play. He wasn't about to let him have the big dunk shot to try and get the team pumped up.
Bobby Jones now checks in for the Sixers. That, by the way, 4 fouls now on Cedric Maxwell. Here's the big guy, 23 years old, out of High School in Orlando, Florida. Here's his points. He's trying to get into double figures. 70-63, 7-point lead for Philadelphia. Philadelphia 9-2 in the playoffs after sweeping Washington, losing only 1 game to Atlanta, and of course losing 1 thus far to Boston. We have a foul coming up. Archibald decked on the play. The foul is going to go against Caldwell Jones. That will be his 4th personal foul. The foul situation now, Rick, starting to get serious. Caldwell Jones with 4, Maxwell with 4, Chris Ford with 4. Archibald, cheeks on him. Cowens, Dawkins respecting that little jump shot of his. Archibald trying to shake loose to Larry Bird. Bird, beautiful pass to Ford.
That was a fantastic pass by Larry Bird. I just love the way he can see the floor. He knows what's happening as Mix gets prepared to come into the game. I would assume for Caldwell Jones.
Red Auerbach said that Larry Bird is the best passing forward he's ever seen, and that really showed it on that last play. Darryl Dawkins with Cowens on him. He's fouled by the big redhead, and Cowens does not like it at all. He is intense, isn't he?
Dave only knows one way to play, and that's all out. We'll see the play right here. What a great pass by Bird. Ford on the sideline for easy 2. That's more like the Celtics that we're accustomed to have seen during the regular season and in the first round of the playoffs.
They move the ball and they use the whole floor, don't they? There was an example of it. The penalty now in as Dawkins at the line. 71-65. Dave Cowens, 31 years old, 6'9", 220, and he has a fire in his eye as we go down with 4.5 minutes remaining in this third period. Here's Cowens with Dawkins on him. Dave's going to take it in. And that will be off of Boston. Boy, Dawkins is down. He's getting up slowly. That was quite a meeting in midair. Pressure in the backcourt by the Celtics. The intensity is really something right now as they get it into Big 53. 4:19 to go in this third period. Boston scratching and clawing, trying somehow to stay alive in this best of 7. Lionel Hollins with Ford on him. Cheeks, Dawkins, that jumper. He's hit that very well in this series.
Again, if that shot goes in, it's a good shot. If it doesn't go in, there's no chance for Darryl to go to the offensive board at all. And when you have a man that big and that strong away from the boards, it's really not helping your team that much as Billy Cunningham looks on. He has to like what he sees out there on the court. Bill Fitch has troubles.
While we were away, Dave Cowens was assessed a technical foul, and you can see Rick Barry, he's in disbelief. Steve Mix hit the technical free throw. Earl Strom was the man that slapped it on him. He was standing over here, and Cowens is upset. He yelled clear across the floor. Now Bill Fitch wants another timeout. Rick Roby has come in to replace Dave Cowens at center. Pitch is clear down at center court. You can see him. There he is. He wants to talk to Earl Strom. Earl Strom slapping the technical on Cowens. Cowens coming out. He's going to cool off a little bit. Bill Fitch now. I don't know what he's arguing about, do you?
Well, I'm sure they're just disappointed about what happened on that technical foul call by Cowens. Cowens just kind of waved his arm, and Earl Strom gave him a technical foul.
We've been told now that Fitch is questioning the 24-second clock. And so, as you watch Cowens, he'll sit down. Roby coming in to replace him for the first time. And with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, it is intense here. That gives us time to remind you about the lineup tonight on CBS. Show that I know everyone enjoys watching is 60 Minutes, followed by Archie Bunker's Place, a Stockard Channing show. That's a special showing along with Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John M.D. So be sure to join us for that. Of course, immediately following this game, we go to Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. The Seattle Supersonics playing host to the Los Angeles Lakers, trailing 2-1 in that. And Rick, that has been some series out west.
Well, they've really played, I think, some intense basketball. Either team has really played, I think, up to their full potential, and either team had a chance of winning any of those ball games. A couple of tough calls against the Sonics late in game number 3. A real hard-fought contest down in Los Angeles. It's amazing how the Sonics will fall behind, and when you see that it seems as though things are going completely against them, they show the poise and the great talent that they have, being defending world champions, coming back and always making the game close.
Well, there's the foul situation we were talking about earlier. Jones, Maxwell, Ford, all with 4. Erving picked up his 3 in the first half, as did Bibby. Cowens, Archibald. Celtics, by the way, this is very interesting. The Celtics have only 1 timeout remaining. And boy, we still have a long ways to go in this game.
That could be very, very critical if we get down to the last couple of minutes of the ball game. This game is taking a long time to play, this third quarter in particular.
So they have 1 left, as you could see on the screen. The Sixers have 5 remaining. So Boston backed into a corner.
Of course, they have to take a mandatory timeout in the fourth quarter, which means they will have no timeouts left if this game goes right down to the wire.
75-65, a 10-point lead for Philadelphia. They led by 10 twice in the first half of play. Roby in the game for the first time, replacing Cowens. Archibald penetrating beautifully on the play. Tiny now is starting to be more and more of a factor in this game. He has 15 points.
As long as he can get all the way to the basket like that and get a decent shot up, then it's a good play.
Bird almost comes away with a steal on Bobby Jones. Bird hitting the deck. Bobby Jones driving, left-hand shot. Dawkins tries to follow, but Maxwell comes away. And a chance now to cut it to 6 is Boston. Larry Bird. He's just not hitting that shot. That's not the Bird that we've seen this year. He is deadly from that area on most occasions. 75-67. Hollins with Ford on him. Ford playing with 4 personals. Dawkins, the big guy, takes Roby in.
No weak side help off the ball. Archibald tried to come over, but he was a little late.
And now Archibald will inbounds it to 4.
That was a delay of game warning that time on the part of the Sixers for touching the ball after it had gone through the basket.
It's back to a 10-point lead for Philadelphia. Archibald using a screen by Roby. Nice return pass. Roby is fouled. Archibald penetrating now.
That is smart basketball on the part of Archibald. He's not getting himself into a position where he has no one to pass the ball to or he can't shoot the basketball. Those are the type of plays they must make more of. In defense of Bill Fitch with the timeout situation, Gary, this is a do-or-die situation, as everyone knows. And you must use your timeouts judiciously. You can't always save them for the last part of the game, which is the logical thing to do. He did not like the way the game was going. It was going against the Celtics. He had to try and stop the momentum of Philadelphia. He needed to call timeouts to do that.
Roby misses both free throws. That last foul went against Bobby Jones, his second of the game. Lionel Hollins with Ford on him. 2:43 left, third quarter. Hollins, reverse layup. He did that earlier in the first half.
Lionel Hollins has been absolutely outstanding in this basketball game. Great individual effort there. Not too much help defensively by the Celtics to allow him to get in that far.
Lionel with 19 points. Bird, a fine pass to Archibald. Bird follows. That's Celtic basketball once again. It's back to a 10-point lead. Bird really passing well, even though his shooting has failed him at this stage of the game.
Well, he's a real fine basketball player, and he can do a lot of things out there to help you, and that's the big thing. When things aren't going well offensively shooting, you've got to contribute in some other way.
Dawkins loses it off of Roby, so it will be Philadelphia's ball. ML Carr will be checking in now for the Boston Celtics. Ford will leave.
That's why coaches like to have players like Larry Bird. They're not one-dimensional. They can do other things out there. They can help you in so many other ways.
Steve Mix backing in on Cedric Maxwell. That's a long ways out for the big fellow. And Bird comes away with it. I imagine Billy C. didn't like that too much. Here's Bird. Oh, he saw the man coming. Bobby Jones hammered him. Bird saw Jones coming and passed on. And so Jones now has a total of 3 personal fouls. Larry Bird to the line. Bird already with 8 points.
Here's the play. It's wide open. He saw the open man. I don't really think he saw Bobby Jones coming, and Bobby happened to hit him when he made the pass. If he had shot the ball, Bobby might have had a good chance to block that one. Larry, again, the good team player that he is, saw a man in better position and gave the ball up. It's a very good rule to follow if you're a youngster out there. When you see a man in a better position than you are with the ball, he's the man that should have it.
Bird now with 9 points. The Doctor was 7. 79-71, full court pressure once again. Inside, 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Archibald staying after Cheeks, off to Mix. Lionel Hollins with 19 points to Bobby Jones, blocked but a foul on Rick Roby. Hollins again with that quick alert pass.
Yes, Hollins set the play up. He gave a good head fake to freeze the defense a little, make him think he was going to shoot it. Put it down, got the penetration as we see the two coaches looking on.
Billy C. going to send in Julius Erving. Boy, you talk about Philadelphia landing on their feet. They wanted to sign Pete Maravich, couldn't, so they ended up with Lionel Hollins.
Well, listen, I like Pete. He's an outstanding basketball player, but for the Philadelphia team, Lionel Hollins is a much better player for this particular basketball team than Pete Maravich would have been.
Both teams glad to have those respective players. Hollins contributing beyond what I think anyone expected in this series in this particular game. That's an interesting quote, isn't it?
Bobby's a nice guy.
You know what Billy C. said? He's saying Pat Williams, the general manager, said the only problem with Bobby Jones is that he sings too loud in church. Just a class individual. Dawkins, by the way, in this third quarter, Rick, has 11 points. He's really contributed.
Well, that's the one thing about Philly, Gary, is that they have other people who are doing the job. When the doc isn't doing, somebody else does it. Doug Collins sitting next to Billy Cunningham, and Doug's injury, he had tore the cruciate ligaments in his knee. That's why he was out.
Earlier had some bone spur problems. He really had one of those years where he's in the hospital a lot. Here's ML Carr to Rick Roby. Out to Carr. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and ML can't get it to go, and number 6 has the rebound. The Hollins. A 10-point lead, and they'd like to take a 12-pointer, and they have, and that's their biggest lead of the game now. 12 points for the 76ers. Archibald with Cheeks on him. Austin, a real tough situation, and Bird mistimed the jump. Off to Erving again. Now let's see if he'll take it in this time. Archibald trying to keep him out of there. The Doctor up off the glass. Here comes Bird. Larry Bird to Archibald. Maxwell, good ball movement that time on the Celtics.
That was a patented Celtics fast break that time. We haven't seen very many of them.
And again, it's a 10-point lead for the Sixers with less than 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Game number 4 from Seattle to follow this. The Lakers against the Sonics. Bobby Jones on Roby. Mix tries to follow out to Maxwell, and Boston still very much in it. Off to ML Carr. Archibald down the middle to Maxwell. Boy, that was a tough shot to miss. Here comes Hollins the other way. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, Mix, and that will end our third quarter of play.
Not a smart play, Gary, in the last situation. Boston should have held for the last shot. They gave Philadelphia another chance. They were very lucky that Mix missed the jump shot.
capacity crowd here in the Boston Garden. The commissioner of the NBA, Larry O'Brien, he's seen quite a contest. The fans are on their feet applauding as this could be the final quarter of the season for the Boston Celtics, who trail by 10. They've really provided enjoyment, an improvement of over 32 wins from a year ago just in the regular season of play. 83-73, Maxwell bats it out. It'll be the Sixers basketball. Well, they've made some runs at him, Rick, but each time they've closed, they've had Philadelphia spurt back out. Bobby Jones over Roby. And it's a 12-point lead, the second time in this game that Philadelphia's led by 12, 85-73. Cowens still not back in the ball game.
Show that 38% shooting by Boston in the third quarter.
Erving with a big steal, and the Sixers are moving. Lionel Hollins rejected by Larry Bird. Billy Cunningham wanted a goaltending call. Hibby picked up by Archibald. Boston not starting out the way they'd like to in this fourth quarter. Steve Mix, Maxwell on him. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2, and Bibby with one and another rebound. They'll reset the clock. Steve Mix just kind of nonchalantly came away with that one. There's Billy trying to orchestrate what they're supposed to do out there. We're down to 12 seconds on the shot clock again. Philadelphia using a lot of valuable time. Mix. Rebound Maxwell. Now the Celtics with a chance to cut it to 10. Larry Bird. And quickly mixes on him. ML Carr. Rebound Maxwell. Maxwell doing yeoman work inside, and he's fouled. There's Red Auerbach. Boy, he's been in these playoff situations before, hasn't he?
More than anyone else. And he doesn't look too happy at this situation as well. He should not be. Trailing by 12 points. Maxwell at the line with a chance to cut it to 2. The Celtics are just pressing. Cowens rests on the bench. They're pressing, Gary. They're just not playing their normal game. You can see it in the shots that they're taking. They're trying to force things. And it's so difficult to keep fighting from that situation of being behind. You get up to the hill, you get up to the top of it, and all of a sudden you slide back down, and it's so tough to get over the top.
Another missed free throw for this Boston team. 85-74. 10.5 minutes remaining in what could be the final 10.5 minutes of this season for Boston. They face elimination if they lose this one. Hollins with Bird on him. Bobby Jones, by the way, committed his 4th foul on that last play, but he just nails another one. Bobby Jones, what a game he's having, 19 points.
He's looking to be much more offensive-minded than I normally have been accustomed to seeing Bobby play.
Larry Bird, and that shot won't go for him. He's just not on his shooting game here this afternoon. Bibby brings it down now with 10 minutes remaining. The doctor. Rebound, Bobby Jones. He's all over the place. And as he goes in, he walks with the basketball. Dave Cowens will now check in for the Celtics with just inside 10 minutes left.
Amazing thing is Julius Erving only has 7 points. And yet the Philadelphia team has been in control of this basketball game, so it shows you that they are more than a one-man team like they used to be in the past.
You saw that graphic. Los Angeles at Seattle immediately following the conclusion of this game. Here's Larry Bird, left-handed. He's staying with it, and he now has 12 points for the afternoon. 87-76.
A lot of pride in the Celtic organization. They don't know what the word quit means.
Hollins inside, and Hollins now with 23 points. He is unconscious out there. ML Carr with the foul. Look at the bench scoring. That's maybe the most significant stat of the whole game.
Yes, and along with that, the inability of the Boston Celtics to be able to shoot the basketball with any accuracy. They did fairly well in the first half, but Philadelphia was even better. In the third quarter, they went back to a disastrous shooting percentage of 38%. They're not doing that much better here in the fourth quarter.
Hollins, the leading scorer in this game now with 24 points. 90-76. Celtics in danger again of not reaching 100 points. That would mean the entire series, if it ends today, they did not score 100 points. There's Bibby trying to bring it down.
That ball had no chance, Gary. When I saw Tiny shoot it, the ball was never shot hard enough to be able to get all the way to the basket.
Would you have believed, Rick, that you could hold Boston under 100 points in 5 games?
No.
Here's Erving and a reach-around foul on Larry Bird. Well, I'll tell you, UB Brown said after they lost their series 4-1, the Atlanta Hawks, that Philadelphia is just awesome. Then they have summed it up. Philadelphia, if they win here today, will be 10-2 in the playoffs.
Well, they're an 8-man team. They play with only 8 men, basically, and all 8 men are contributing.
Here's Erving taking Bird. Little finger roll that time by the doctor. 9 points for Julius. 92-76. Boston running out of time, and their season just about to slip away from them. 8:37 remaining. Archibald. Intimidated by Mix. He had the shot all the way. Caldwell Jones double team and drives out of it. Broken up, Mix has it. Like you said, Boston is still giving it a great effort. We have an injury timeout now. Man shaken up is Lionel Hollins. I guess they could take 20 seconds away for him the way he's played today. 24 points for Lionel Hollins. He would average 11 during the regular season.
His wish should be, every wish should be granted. The man has been fantastic out here this afternoon. Of course, he has the experience. I mean, he played on that championship Portland team. He was the man who orchestrated the championship series for Portland.
Rebounds, you can see Bird's been very effective in that department. But to think that the Sixers are winning like they are and the doctor hasn't contributed any more than he has offensively. He's been averaging almost 28 points a game in this series. Here's the doctor trying to do something about it. Rebound by Maxwell. Archibald. Larry Bird. Bird needs to find the handle. It just won't go for it. Caldwell Jones. Larry Bird, who's shot so well all year long, just can't seem to get the ball to drop. Maravich in the game now, picking up Bibby. Maravich may be the man they need to start shooting from outside. Mo Cheeks. Rebound Mix. Boy, Mix is doing a nice job.
Steve Mix has been always an underrated player in this league. He hasn't really gotten the recognition that he justly deserves. Last few years, more people have noticed his contributions.
And he and Cowens entangled, and they're going to call a foul on Mix.
That was unbelievable because I was right on this play. Dave Cowens
says, hey, let's get this thing going. He is having a tough time shouldering his way inside, and he shakes loose. That may be the start. That could be the start of the comeback if Maravich could get the hot hand. 92-78. Maravich with 4 points. Cheeks with Archibald on him. Boy, physically, it's very demanding of Boston now. A long uphill struggle with 7:07 left.
Philly must avoid what happened to him in the fourth quarter back at Philly in the last ball game when they shot only 2 for 23, I believe it was. That's hard to believe.
Maravich with the foul. He thought he got away with it cleanly, but according to Wally Rooney, he did not.
Here's the play coming up. Pete, good position right there, reaches in. It's hard to tell from here whether he hit him or not. Pete obviously felt he didn't, but the big thing was Wally did.
Bibby into Erving. Darryl against Cowens, nose to nose between Bird and Erving. Caldwell, the lean in again. That's his spot. Caldwell Jones has 12 points, 94-78. Maravich, they got to start putting up some three-pointers, aren't they?
Well, it might be just a little bit early. They still have to try and get their offense going, get a couple of quick baskets, play tough defense, and then maybe three-pointers if they're still down by 10 or more with 3 minutes.
And there, Bird misses again.
Still plenty of time to come back, Gary.
At time, 6:25, fourth quarter. Bibby with Maravich on him. Bibby hasn't scored that much today, but he has played so well in this series. Out it comes to Dawkins, long ways out, and it was tipped in by Bird.
Boy, when things are going bad, they really go bad.
Dawkins will get credit for 18 points. Archibald fouled, but
Touch with this game right now. They're trailing by 19 points. They got to make up a lot of points in a hurry.
biggest lead of the game for the Sixers. There's Maravich, doesn't go. Dawkins with a rebound.
Pete's falling away from the basket. He's been short hitting the front rim, and that's probably one of the reasons. Instead of getting planted and going towards the hoop, he's been fading back.
Bibby with Maravich on him. Philadelphia now use that clock. They have 8 seconds on the shot clock. Caldwell, that's from the other side that time of the lane.
Too far out, though, like we talked about earlier in the ball game. That's not his distance.
And how many times have they missed a shot and Philadelphia has gotten the rebound and they reset it?
Many times.
A little pushing and shoving inside.
Looked like a traffic jam in New York underneath there. Look at this, Bird and Bibby going at it pretty good. Doc trying to fight through between Cowens and Maravich.
Looked like a square dance. Larry Bird did have the foul assessed against him. Maxwell off to Archibald. Archibald all the way, went right by Cheeks. 98-81. Archibald with 18 points. Look at Caldwell Jones, a 7-1 handle of basketball. That's something that people don't realize, how he's improved his ball handling and shooting since moving to that forward spot. Here's Erving, he runs into Cowens, and I mean runs into him. 81, only the second game in the series that the Sixers have scored 100 or more points. Erving bats it out to Maravich. Maravich off of Erving. No, it's off of Maravich. Wait a minute, change. Earl Strom says, I meant it's Boston's basketball. Into Cowens to Archibald. 4:17 left. Bird on the move, and that ball got away from him. But Maxwell will follow. They haven't had very many multiple shots like that.
They're going to have to start trying some three-point opportunities. Too many points right now, 17 to make up in this short a period of time, the way that they're playing and shooting the ball.
Hollins at the 3:57 mark. You see what's remaining in this season right now for Boston, unless they miraculously call
Once fairly proficient at it.
Well, you can't argue with your results, I'll tell you. 6 NBA free throw shooting titles as Cowens with a little finality with that one, huh? 101-85, 3.5 minutes left. Bibby, Dawkins, he pushed off on him. Darryl pushed off on Cowens, and the doctor is just going to let things simmer for a little bit. Look at that move. He left Maravich in the backcourt and a foul.
I think the doc was trying to say, hey, listen, Rick, I could go to my left. I don't have to just go to the right.
There's Larry. Larry Bird
Have an outside chance of getting back in this game with 3 there. They got back very quickly.
Here's Archibald, and he passes off somehow inside and gets the shot underway by Maxwell. 103-89. Here's Erving in the backcourt. He may bring Bird back in, let him just catch a breath or two as Bibby now. Playing cat and mouse in the backcourt to Dawkins. Out to Bibby. Billy Cunningham can't let these last 2.5 minutes get by quick enough right now. Standing on the far side. Cheeks blocked that time by Maxwell. Off to Nate Archibald. Archibald down the middle. 103-91. And as you said, they still have a chance.
You have to respect this Boston team. As I say, they just never give up. They're making a real battle here. They're putting some pressure on Philadelphia. They're going to make them have to play good basketball to win it.
Maravich on Bibby. And Erving off of Cowens. It'll be Caldwell. Maravich. Archibald to Cowens. He lost it off of Maravich, and that was a very costly move there.
That's a very big play. It looked like Cowens could have an easy dunk shot right there. That could have made it very interesting. Big break for the Sixers.
1:53 remaining in this game. Caldwell Jones in the backcourt with Archibald clawing at it. Henry Bibby up to Double D. And Julius Erving now. They'll just milk this clock for all they can. 9 seconds on the shot clock, and Maravich with the steal. Well, we should mention, if the Sixers hang on here, tickets for their home games for the World Championship will go on sale tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the spot. Maravich. And the whistles, the ball goes out of bounds. Philadelphia at the overseas terminal at 6:30 this evening. And Maxwell is fouled by Darryl. Philadelphia move into the championship series, the winner of the Los Angeles-Seattle series. That game 4, will be move into the championship series, the winner of the Los Angeles-Seattle series. That game 4, will be following after this one. Larry Bird, you can see on his face how he feels about today's goings-on. A remarkable season for Boston, the most dramatic turnaround in the history of the NBA. They improved the record by 32 wins. In fact, they won more games this year than they had in the previous 2 years. And they're close back. Who's been a star in this game. Here's Maravich. Off to ML Carr. Carr trying to get out to the three-point area. Rebound, Jeff Judkins, who just checked in. Carr to try another one. He goes up and doesn't get it to go. That kind of shows you how frustrating it's been for Boston this afternoon. Rick Barry's on his way to the Sixers dressing room to congratulate the Sixers on their Eastern Conference Final championship. Here's Gerald Henderson, three-pointer. A little wild and woolly right now as you see the time remaining. That is Clint Richardson, who's checked into the game trying one from outside. It will be Boston's basketball with 14 seconds remaining. I want to thank our people in the truck. An outstanding job they've done today. Our producer, Bob Sinner, who, by the way, his father is having a birthday today, and we just congratulate him. I think he did a pretty good job in raising Bob Sinner. And Sandy Grossman, our director, Joan Petrano, we just congratulate him. I think he did a pretty good job in raising Bob Sinner. And Sandy Grossman, our director, Joan Petrano, our associate producer. Thank you, folks. As Boston's season is coming to a close here in the Garden, a three-point play possibility by Bernard Toon, and it's over. So the Philadelphia 76ers with a 105-94 victory, closing out this best-of-7 series.